Israel Adesanya says Dricus Du Plessis will feel him at UFC 305. What could he mean by this?
This is Nwadei.
Alright, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. You're watching Nwadei MMA, where I give you my thoughts, but more importantly ask for you guys' thoughts because you guys are the MMA community. So thank you guys for stopping by today. Today we're going to be talking about the fact that Israel Adesanya says Dricus Du Plessis is going to feel him at UFC 305, and I have a couple of thoughts on why he's coming off like this. So for those of you who don't understand the slang, this is pretty much he's saying I'm gonna whoop his ass in a brutal fashion, just to put it in simpler terms. And I feel like the reason he's coming off so aggressive is because for some weird reason, not just Dricus, but a lot of people try to play Israel Adesanya like he's a pussy. They try and act as if he is just the most feminine fighter who fights like a bitch. I don't understand it at all, because it's almost as if they forgot about the Paulo Costa fight, as if they forgot about the Kelvin Gastelum fight, as if they forgot about his whole road to the title, finishing motherfuckers left and right. Or even the fact that they forgot that he just slumped over their favorite fighter in Alex Pereira a couple fights back. They forgot about all of that. And then the same people who are playing him like he's a pussy are over here praising Sean Strickland, acting like he doesn't fucking point spar for 98% of the fight until the very end, where he starts yelling at his opponent for no reason. There's just some things in this world that I don't get, and maybe you guys can help me understand. Is it the fact that he gets manicures done and then whoops people's ass with those same hands? Is it the fact that he can not only finish an opponent, but he can also take them to decision, beating them every single round and embarrassing them? Or is it just the fact that he's been winning all of these years and people naturally want to see people lose? For whatever competitive nature that comes in the human species, we want to see people lose for whatever reason. If someone's doing a little bit too well, we got to see him drop a little bit. And I feel like that's why a lot of people like Sean Strickland or like Alex Pereira, is because we've seen them drop in the worst ways. Sean Strickland against Alex Pereira and Alex Pereira against Israel Adesanya. But we've seen them also rise and be better for it, right? And people love those stories. And I feel like with all of this being said, it's not just his mindset that is having a change coming into this fight, but it's also what he's doing now. If you've been following the channel, every now and again since Izzy hasn't fought in a while, we'll talk about Izzy and we'll talk about what he's been doing in his time off. And I have a video detailing his training since the time off, detailing the fact that he went to Mexico to work on his boxing, which insinuates a pressure forward style. But what I haven't talked about is the fact that Israel Adesanya is 230 pounds, was 230 pounds. We're about a couple weeks away, so I'm sure he's not that big now. But this man was 230 pounds, same size as Alex Pereira, for those of you guys wondering. Now, I'm sure he was bulking and that a lot of that weight's gonna come off very quick, but you can't deny the fact that he's put on muscle. That's pretty much what we're getting at. And that muscle gain isn't just gonna help him to have more power or have more speed as it might seem to the common eye, but what it is going to help him do is be more efficient, be more sharp in his techniques, and yeah, everything's just going to look more pretty. Everything's going to look more effective, if you will. Not only that, but having a little bit of extra mass behind him, it's going to be a little different when Dricus is trying to grapple with him versus when Dricus was trying to grapple with Robert Whittaker. Dricus is a very big guy now. He has competed at welterweight, but since he moved up to middleweight, he's put on some size, and you could tell he looks a bit bigger than all of his opponents. However, assuming Dricus is going to bring a grappling heavy style into this fight, which I think we all assume that he will, that 230 pounds on Israel Adesanya or added muscle could play a big factor. Izzy already has amazing takedown defense. He has great footwork, and he has the ability to get up from good grapplers, as we've seen in the past. Not only that, but we know he's the best in the world at striking from the outside. However, I think another thing that he means when he says Dricus is gonna feel him, it means he's gonna feel every part of him. Pause. Yeah, no, not in that way. I mean, not only in the striking and in his footwork and distance and range management, but also in his forward pressure, also in the clinch, which I know he's been working a lot of going in and out of the clinch, not only using hands but knees and elbows and all that dirty shit that's beautiful for a long guy like Israel Adesanya. And maybe even some grappling. I mean, Izzy's been training jiu-jitsu and grappling for a long time now, so to think that that's a deficiency in his game at this point in his career is just, honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. But I do assume that we're gonna see Izzy grapple a fair share, not necessarily trying to take him down and wasting energy like that, but not being afraid to clinch, not being afraid to counter throw with Dricus Du Plessis. Dricus has a very pressure forward heavy style to where a lot of times he's overextending, coming forward, and even in his takedowns, the way he chain wrestles is just forward, which will leave him open for counter throws and things like that. But I think he's talking about the fact that actually might be underestimating him from that Sean Strickland fight, and that it would be a mistake to do that. Now, personally, man, I can't be more excited to watch Israel Adesanya fight again. Yes, we know that I'm a fan of Israel Adesanya, but it's just the fact that we've kind of been deprived of him fighting. I mean, he was the most active champion in the world and then takes however many month hiatus, which was much needed to heal up injuries, needed to take a break from the emotional stress of the fight game. But man, not only am I excited for that reason, but I feel like his old mindset, his challenger mindset, is coming back, and that's a scary Israel Adesanya. So I wouldn't be short of expecting a Kelvin Gastelum type fight. That kind of dog is the dog that's gonna be brought out of Israel Adesanya if need be. But I can also see Israel Adesanya getting this done in a clean way. And if y'all want my official prediction for this, I have to give you guys a quick breakdown. Dricus is striking. In order to break this down, you have to label him as a switch hitter, because that's what he does. A lot of times he'll throw his high kick and switch off of that before entering into like a karate style straight blast blitz. He often seems longer than he actually is by overextending and really blitzing in forward towards his opponents with these straight punches. Not only do they reach his opponent, but they also protect his face, as you can see from this angle of the camera. So in saying that, Izzy's gonna have to create a lot of different angles. That would be one key to victory. Crashing into the clinch with elbows, like using his guard up high, crashing in with some elbows to get into the clinch, and managing that range not only by using footwork around with the angles, but into him, and being able to manage the range like that and start developing his own sense of pressure. But then I also think that Izzy's gonna bring back some Dutch style kickboxing setups, such as like the cross hook low kick, using his hands to set up his round kicks. A lot of that style of kickboxing would work well against Dricus, who moves in very linear patterns. He's either straight forward or he's straight back. Not to say he can't move laterally, but he has shown deficiencies when he is fighting off the back foot, going backwards. So I think putting Dricus on the back foot, making him feel Israel Adesanya, would be a major key to victory and would probably get Izzy the win in this one. However, on the other side with Dricus Du Plessis, just to balance the scales, I think Dricus setting up his single leg takedowns, not really trying to go for double leg takedowns, because man, it's going to be hard to get to 2 of those legs against Israel Adesanya, but using that straight blast blitz in order to set up the single leg takedowns and keeping him off of the cage when you're trying to complete your takedowns, all of that is going to be key for his first key to victory. Obviously, you want to mix up the wrestling with Israel Adesanya just because he's been kickboxing a lot longer than he's been wrestling, and Dricus has shown to have some really good grappling. I also think kicking the legs of Israel Adesanya, similar to the way Pereira did, would be very key. I've seen Dricus attack legs very well, especially with that switch stance style. Sometimes you don't know whether it's going to your leg or going up high to your head. It's very tricky in that manner. And then using his kicks to set up his hands, kind of the opposite of Israel Adesanya's keys to victory. Because Israel has been known to stay in that kicking range rather than boxing range, making him respect the kicks and then using kick fakes in order to get him stagnant to set up your hands is probably the best method in order to strike with a guy like Israel Adesanya for Dricus Du Plessis, who goes forward very fast and closes that gap quick. But with that being said, if I'm going with an official prediction, I gotta go with my boy Israel Adesanya. I think this is his comeback fight. I think he's back for vengeance, back for blood, similar to the Pereira rematch. And I think that, yeah, he's coming to make a statement, and not in some unexperienced way to where he's gonna gas out in the first round and just come for a finish, but in the way that he really wants to show that he is the best in the world, that he hasn't lost a step, that he's not washed as some people think, and that he doesn't fight like some bitch like a lot of you people keep saying. So with that being said, there's my official prediction for UFC 305 in Perth, Australia. The energy's gonna be crazy. I can't wait to watch this fight. And with that being said, let me know your comments and thoughts down below in the comment section. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up to support the content, and you're more than welcome to join the Nwadei MMA family by subscribing to get more content like this one. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.